Hello everybody, welcome to That's Football. Today we're going to be talking England's best 11 for the Euros, with Gareth Southgate set to name an inflated England squad today. Remember, he should be picking a 26. He's actually picking a bigger squad than that to cut it down to 26 next week. France and everybody else have picked their 26, but England can't do that. I'm actually expecting a call-up. Apparently he's going to call up about 200. But on a serious note, he will be picking his squad. He will then be trimming it down next week. This seems to be a bit indecisive from a national coach, and I think we're going to see that throughout the Euros. I think we're going to see decisions that many of us wouldn't go with. Therefore, my England team I'm about to put out for the Euros is controversial in some areas, but I firmly believe this is how England should be building out into a major tournament, not just for this one, but for future ones as well. So it's got longevity. It's also got an emphasis on playing football, using the ball and playing football and expressing ourselves with the attacking talent that we've got. So in goal, I would go for Jordan Pickford. Now, for me, I would have gone with Pope, but with his injury, that is probably not likely. Henderson, to be honest, as a United fan, I do like him, but I don't agree with chucking him in the England squad. I don't think he's shown enough for that. So I'd have to go with Pickford based on the fact that he is a first choice goalkeeper and has played for England more games. And I'm not a big fan of Pickford either, but I think it's he's the best of the options at the moment. Right back, this is the situation. Look, I like Trent Alexander-Arnold. I don't think he'll even be part of the wider squad, let alone the trimmed down squad. So that leaves you with Reece James, Kyle Walker and Trippier. Now, I would want somebody with a bit of pace. Therefore, that knocks out Trippier. I think Reece James and Kyle Walker are clearly quicker than him. And then it's about, I go Reece James. And I know this will be controversial. And there's three players in my 11 that probably people will disagree with. But I would go with Reece James because I thought about Kyle Walker and then I thought, well, we're meant to be building for a future here. And Reece James in recent games has played in the back three, a right-sided centre-back, and he plays as a wing-back and at right-back. So he shows all the qualities I want. He's quick, he's strong, he's talented, he can get forward, he can defend. I would go with Reece James. Centre-back pairing, easy. Harry Maguire, John Stones. As long as there's no injury issues, they would be the two. And I think if we lose one of those, we're really in trouble because you're talking about people like Tyrone Mings and Eric Dyer and Connor Cody and people like that. So it's got to be Stones and Maguire. Left back is an interesting debate. Obviously, I'm going to go with Luke Shaw. I think he's been one of the best left backs in the world this season. Certainly the best left back in the Premier League. Had a fantastic season and gives so much energy going back and forward. Now, I think this is not about what Southgate would do, but I think Southgate may well go with Chilwell. I don't think Southgate will go with Reece James either, but this is what I would go with. Chilwell much improved this season. I think Chilwell's a bit of an apron. He's good going forward and wide open at the back, but he has been a bit better. But for me, it would be Luke Shaw. So that would be my back four with Pickford in goal, Reece James, not Gareth Southgate, Harry Maguire, John Stones and Luke Shaw. Into the midfield, I would play a 2, but it would be a different 2. I think that, look, Southgate may well play a back 5 and 2 holding midfielders. He'll certainly play 2 holding midfielders even if he plays a back 4, and I would expect it to be a Declan Rice and a Calvin Phillips or a Declan Rice and a Jordan Henderson, Mr. Defensive. Not how I would play. Declan Rice, Jude Bellingham. That is how I would go. I'm wanting to build a team that's exciting, that can win a World Cup. I want to build a team that's going to excite England fans and make us a team that, you know, is one of the best teams in the tournament. Declan Rice gives you that defensive stability to shield the back four, but he's also confident enough to get on the ball and use it. Jude Bellingham gives you that energy, talent and ability to light up the tournament in a position that we need a bit more creativity. Henderson, Rice, you give up the midfield. You basically say come and attack us against teams like France. Rice and Bellingham, you play a France or a Spain or whoever and you're saying, look, yeah, let's have a battle in the midfield, but when we get the ball, we're going to express ourselves. So yes, Bellingham and Rice would be my midfield 2. At the head of the midfield 2, this is probably, again, a position that many people would debate about. Who's the creative attacking midfielder? Well, for me, it's Mason Mount, because Mason Mount can drop into a midfield 3 anyway if you need to play defensive. He can play in a midfield 2 if you want him to. But he can also express himself getting forward, and I think he's had an amazing season. I think he's one of England's key players, and he's another player that when you go into a tournament like this, he's shown in the Premier League, he's shown in the Champions League that he's capable of grabbing hold of a game. For me, he's been Chelsea's best player this season, and Mason Mount has to start. So I would go with Mason Mount ahead of Declan Rice and Jude Bellingham, and what an exciting midfield that is. Of course, the reality of Southgate is we're probably going to see a back five and a midfield three that's very stagnant, but that's Gareth Southgate. This is why he shouldn't be England coach. Unless he proves me wrong in this tournament, he should not be England coach, and I'm quite adamant about this. Look at the team I've just picked. It's exciting. You know, you've got fullbacks that want to attack. You've got Declan Rice and Bellingham, who are, you know, young, exciting players. Mason Mount, exciting. Not even done the front three yet, and that team makes me think, oh, you know, we can go and do something in this tournament. But you know Southgate's going to go ultra defensive, and therefore, so you've got your back four, you've got your midfield two, and your attacking midfielder, two wide players and a striker. Well, the striker's Harry Kane, one of the best strikers in the world. So not only are we talking about an exciting team without the front three, I've just added one of the best strikers in the world in Harry Kane. He gets straight in, which leaves the left and right side of the attack. Now, this is where, again, I probably get a little bit controversial because of the players I'm going to leave out. One of them is one of my favourite players. The right-hand side is Jaden Sancho, 100%. He's banging form, he's creative, he's exactly what you want on the right-hand side. The ability to put a cross in, the ability to create, the ability to hold on to the ball. You can imagine that right-hand side with Reece James, Jude Bellingham, Mason Mount and Jaden Sancho pinging it around. They'll pass it around forever. And of course, Bellingham and Sancho, you've got that Dortmund connection. What a right-hand side that would be. I want a right-hand-sided attacker who's going to make chances for Harry Kane. I don't want a right-sided forward who's just going to skip past his man and get a shot off. Harry Kane needs service. Jaden Sancho will provide that service on the right. And on the left-hand side, no to Sterling, no to Marcus Rashford. For me, it's about Jack Grealish or Phil Foden. Because again, I want down that left-hand side with Luke Shaw, with Declan Rice, with Mason Mount, I want creativity and I want people who are on the ball. Possession's going to be very important in international football. You put Raheem Sterling, you put Marcus Rashford there, they are very direct, quick players. But in tournament football, most teams are very disciplined defensively and they're going to relish somebody running at them because they're going to play deep lines. What you need is people who can ping the little triangles around. So for me, it's so close between Grealish and Foden, but I would go Phil Foden on the left-hand side. So my team would be Pickford, Reece James, Maguire and Stones, Luke Shaw, Rice, Bellingham, Mount ahead of them, Sancho to the right, Foden to the left, Harry Kane. And I tell you what, that team makes me dream. That team makes me think semi-final at least. And look at the bench. You've got people like Henderson who can come on. You've got people like Grealish, Rashford, Sterling. Now, of course, Gareth Southgate is not going to pick that team I've just suggested. But what a team it would be. The ability with Rice, Bellingham, Mount, Sancho, Foden to keep the ball, confidently keep the ball, make things happen for Harry Kane. But we won't do that because England never do this. And this is why England never win trophies, because we go with favourites. We go with managers who, are pragmatic. Ericsson, Capello, McLaren, Hodgson, all pragmatic, defensive-minded coaches. We have got a team bustling with talent, attacking talent, young talent that have proved themselves. Mason Mount, Phil Foden are going to play in a Champions League final. Bellingham played in the Champions League. Sancho. These ain't players that you go there for the future. They're for the now. Set them free. Why don't you, babe? That's what you need to do, Southgate. And that would be my 11. Get yours in below. What do you think? I mean, in a way, I feel sad because I feel so excited about the team I've just picked. And then I think we're not going to get anywhere near that. We're not going to get anywhere near that. In fact, it'll probably play a back five. Let's see. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe. Get your comments in below. And I'll see what you've got to say about this one.